All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for showing up. So, it's another video of me, your girl, Kofa, coming at you to share a little bit about my recent experience with living abroad. So, I want to share with you all a little bit about my journey to moving during a pandemic, making an international move during a global pandemic. So I did not share with many people that I was moving. I only held that information on a need to know basis, and very few people knew. As it is right now, I am a little over 2.5 weeks in my location in Mexico, and very little people know. Very little people knew, and very little people know. So that's what it is. So I'm going to get started. I put a call out on my Instagram for questions, and I also didn't even really have to put a call out for questions because a ton of responses, I got a ton of responses, a ton of feedback once I posted that I had landed, I was safe, and I was making it work. I was making it do what it do. So a couple people sent me lots of questions, lots of thoughts, lots of excitement. And so I figured I'll make a video about it. And here we are. So, how did this start? It started because of two things. This book right here. This book right here, Parable of the Sower. If you're not sure, if you've never read it, if you have never gone into the dystopian world in Mind and Brilliance of Octavia E. Butler, this is your invitation. Get into it. Secondly, I follow someone on Instagram, been building community with lots of people that follow this person, this Black woman. She's really dope. Her name is the Global Black Girl. Giving her props right now because she is cultivating a community of thinkers and people that want to see the world more radically different than what it is right now, that want to see change for themselves, that are intergenerational healers and want to make directional changes and shifts for the way that they experience the world, the way that any future generations that may come through them will experience the world. And so, as we know, as a people, we carry trauma with us, we carry all of those things with us, through us, around us. And so, you know, that was something that kind of collided all at the same time. And I don't actually know how I found her social media. It kind of came to me some kind of way. I had been following some other Black expat channels on YouTube, some expatriates on YouTube. I've been like paying attention to it a little bit more once I, got a real understanding of what was going on and what I was feeling in the energy, what I was feeling in the air. And so, with seeing all of that, paying attention to all of those things, noticing what I was noticing, I was looking at, I found myself looking at these channels. And maybe that's how I found the Global Black Girl. I have no idea. But I found a lot of her stuff. And fast forward to several months later, here I am. Okay. So I've been on a path to uh, wellness and health and self-discovery and kind of alignment of being for a while. I've been making subtle changes in my life for a while. And so this is not a surprise to me, but this just seems like a natural step in progression of me doing things differently, of me continuing to make joy in whatever situation is in front of me, right? Um, and so for me, um, making radical moves or making a decision and going with it, quitting a job, running away from a career to run towards something that's more joyful and brilliant and will work for me better is not strange to me. Though I am a Taurus and I like to be exacting with what I do, I like to make decisions based off of information and fact. I also will listen to gut. I also will listen to spirit, and I will go make a move if I need to make a move. Okay. But I can perhaps make another video on some of the other kind of esoteric, non-tangible things in a way that you might want to consider if you are looking into a move. So with everything going on, my semester, as you all know, if you're watching this channel, you know that I am a PhD student. And so with that, I finished my coursework, which is like the first half of my degree requirements. Finishing those degree requirements was something that I was aiming to do in 2 years. And I finished in 2 years. I finished my course, my requirements in the spring semester of 2020. And so my lease for my apartment was going to be up. I knew that. That was not anything new on the calendar. But I knew that I would have to find a different place to live. My immediate thought when I started my program was I'm going to go right back to New York City and go back to where my friends and family are. And as life will have it, you will often be taken somewhere else in another adventure for things that you need, that you do not plan for. If you're listening and if you're willing to change, right? If you're open to it. And so the perfect storm of things occurred, and I was open to change. I knew that I was going to be coming out of a lease for my apartment. I knew that I did not have to have residence in New England for my program because I would have been done with all of those in-person requirements. But at the same time, with the pandemic happening and the stay-at-home orders, the quarantine orders, social distancing, I really could have left and just never came back because of the world events, right? But I had set myself up to be able to pretty much go anywhere, and I didn't realize at the time that that was what was happening, right? So, step one, excuse me, having an open mind. Step two, listening to gut, listening to spirit. Step three, somehow being guided towards expat channels, Black expat channels, Black travel channels, all of that. Somehow, step four, found the Global Black Girl on social media. Started listening to her content, engaging with the community she's been building. I love it. Got my posse, my people, and also the next step, five, joining a book club of Black women that were reading this particular text right here. Now, I want to suggest to you that this book right here, Octavia E. Butler surely was somebody's prophet or whatever, because so much of what is written in this book is actually what's happening right now. So this book was written in the 90s, right? And just the back of the book right here says, when global climate change and economic crises lead to social chaos in the early 2020s, California becomes full of dangers, from pervasive water shortage to masses of vagabonds who will do anything to live to see another day. 15-year-old Lauren Olamina lives inside a gated community with her preacher father, family, and neighbors, sheltered from the surrounding anarchy. In a society where any vulnerability is a risk, she suffers from hyperempathy, a debilitating sensitivity to others' emotions, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, if you're interested, get this text. Don't say that black women never did nothing for y'all, okay? Cool. So, those are the five first things that occurred for me. Now I'm going to stop. Okay, here I am. So let me just get into some questions, okay? Folks were asking, wow, you did that? How did you do that? Could you do that? I didn't know we could do that. How did you do that? First thing you want to do, or first thing I did, pay attention to the embassy websites, the official embassy websites. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. They're updating all the time in this experience. Pay attention to what they're saying about their borders and when they're opening and who they're opening to. Keep your eyes on that information. That's what I did. Um, I saw that Mexico had availability. Mexico had openings. I was not considering um, Mexico at first. I was looking into um, the Caribbean. I was looking into going home. I was looking into Costa Rica. I was looking into Belize. Um, those were not available, especially with the border closings and more restrictions on Americans, more restrictions on people with passports from the United States. Those restrictions were very real, and they're still very real. And so um, Mexico was open, and I figured, you know what? I knew there was a moment I knew, and months and months and months and months and months of looking into this, and months of build up, and months of reading, and months of building community with Black folks in expat groups online, months and months and months of building community with people that are like seeing what's going on, none of which I'm going to say right here, but seeing and paying attention. And eventually I knew like I'd had enough. I'd had enough, and I was mentally, emotionally drained from the US experience, and I wanted something else, right? And so I knew that my experience would be that I'd be able to do something else, just a matter of where and just a matter of when. And so that was that. That was what I did. Someone also had questions about cost. Now, one thing about me is I'm a hustler. I hustle. I get summer work. I get funding randomly here, there, everywhere. I put the work in. I do the things I need to do so that I can save and put my money together and things like that. And so one of the things I did was work. Like Riri says, I worked. And so I was able to put some things together for me to be able to fly safely for me, research the airlines that had the best standards for me. And so because the flights were so inexpensive relative to the way that they normally are without a pandemic, once I saw the ticket, once I saw the cost of the flight, with Delta Airlines. And when I saw what Delta was doing with their flights, I bought a first class ticket. I bought a first class ticket. First time won't be the last time. And got on a plane. I bought a ticket. And 6 days later, I was on a plane. So I researched, I paid attention. I knew it was going to be a terrifying experience, but I also knew that people were starting to fly. And so I realized, you know what, you might be able to do this just fine. And so I got a flight with a layover, a 2-hour layover in Atlanta. And so it was a short layover. And then from Atlanta, I went to, I flew into Cancun. I had an Airbnb for lodging. Had already sorted that out. I already found Airbnb. And Airbnb was also very discounted. And so that took care of my lodging. I used Airbnb. I continue to use Airbnb. For the most part, it's been wonderful. I've had great experiences for the most part. And I like to know what I'm booking. I like to know what I'm doing. I like to know where I'm staying. And so that's how I got to Mexico. I flew from New England to Atlanta, had a 2-hour layover. And then after the layover, of course, I came to Cancun and then got in a vehicle, got in a van, just myself and a driver. And we drove to where I was going to be. And so that was exciting. And, the first class lodgings in Delta. The airport was really like mostly empty. I got through TSA in like less than 10 minutes, like from beginning, entry point, everything. Like it was so short with the line and the check-in, TSA, all of that. It was great. And then what else? That was easy. That was easy peasy, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, I flew. I had gotten my protective gear that I needed, that I felt comfortable with from Amazon. I got my shield. I got my jumpsuit, of which I, you know, had planned to fly securely with. I had masks. I had gloves. I had extra stuff that I had bought so that I could keep with me and I could fly with. So that took care of that anxiety about getting on a plane. I will say Delta was phenomenal. Delta was phenomenal. I also went to the Sky Lounge and sat there and lived my best life. And there were maybe 3 or 4 people in there. So it was pretty empty and pretty spaced out. So it was great for me. Um, Also, somebody's asking me about Wi Fi. Wi Fi in Mexico, Wi Fi in Tulum, Wi Fi in Cancun have been mostly okay, mostly good. It's been mostly great. I've had very few issues with it. It's a little slower, not going front. It is just a wee bit slower, but it's pretty damn good. I'm on the internet all the time. I'm on Zoom all the time. I'm a university student. I am in grad school. I am on Zoom a lot. Um, I've been having great success with the internet. I also purchased something that is portable Wi Fi, like just for you, the individual. And I purchased that and it will be arriving any day now. And when it arrives, I will be using that just as an additional booster for me during the semester. Because I need to be able to be accessible. I need to be able to do my work. I need to be able to show up to my Zoom meetings and all of those things. So Wi-Fi is pretty good. Like I can't complain. There are like pockets in the apartment that are not as great, or it may freeze up a little more. Then I just go to another part of the house where it works a little bit better. And I am like, great. I am good. Um, Being a black woman in Tulum, that was another question I had about being a black woman in Tulum. Um, on one hand, I'm not seeing a lot of black women in Tulum when I'm walking around, although I'm not walking around a lot. But when I do walk around, it's with a purpose and it's with intention, and I'm running errands. But other than that, I'm not seeing a lot of black people, like, you know? And so being a black woman in Tulum has been fine for me, has been fine in Mexico, has been fine. I don't feel like I stick out. I'm sure people may know, oh, she's not from here, she sticks out. But to me, I don't feel, for the most part, any kind of difference. I will say that I have had some engagement with some building um, workers that have tried to ask questions like, what number apartment, when I'm like approaching the entryway to enter into the establishment, the building, like they'll pop out of nowhere to tap in twice with the same person actually. Which apartment? Which apartment are you going to? First of all, don't ask me no questions. Second of all, don't ask me no questions. Third of all, I'm here, minding my business, doing my thing. You should mind yours as well. We have no problem. I have nothing to say to you. You have nothing to say to me. But let me go ahead and do my thing. And so that only happened like twice. But for the most part, like I feel fine. I'm in a particular area where there's a lot of people. There's a lot of expats. There's a lot of travelers. Um, I'm in a little shishi area, so they say. And so I don't mind them. They don't mind me. We good for the most part. Like whether it's the other folks from wherever they are, the other travelers in the coffee shop or in the restaurants or whatever, in the bike shop, whatever. Or if some of the workers that may look at me and ask questions or be a little bristly, it's fine for the most part. Like I'm not worried about it. I also don't go out a lot anyway, so I came here for respite. I came to do my work. So the Black woman in Tulum thing is not really anything to me. There are internet groups and stuff with Black expats, and so you can find a group and you can find people that may be in the area. If you just do an internet search, you can find online groups for people that are traveling and that are doing their thing. So I'm not going to name any names. You can find them if you look. Okay. So therefore, you could also find other Black women, is what I'm saying, or other Black people to like spend time with, hang out with, go to dinner with, go rock climbing with, all of that stuff. Somebody asked me, I had quite a few questions about my program and my studies. No, I'm not quitting my program. I'm not quitting my program. I'm in my program. I am officially now a third-year doctoral student. I'm not quitting my program. I'm continuing with my studies. I am just in another phase of my studies where I do not have to be there. And with classes being greatly reduced for me, because I've done with my official coursework, now I can do what I want to do. So all of the other requirements that go along with my degree, what my program is asking for, I can do them all remotely. On top of that, I also have funding. And so my funding allows me to work remotely, allows me to still hustle, and allows me to, with a strong internet connection, to do the things I need to do, to hold my obligations, to hold my work obligations, to meet my academic obligations, all that good stuff. So for me, that's how my schooling is going. I'm working partly as a TA this upcoming academic year. We're all doing things virtually. So for me, if I can literally go study on the beach, if I can literally sit outside of my foyer, if I can sit under the bush, under the tree, I'm good with my book and my laptop, doing my thing. I don't need anything else. I'm good at that point. That's just me though. Okay. Um, Somebody else asked me, have I moved for the remainder of my program? I don't know that. I don't know that I have. I'm saying I'm taking things 1 week at a time, and that is what I'm doing. I cannot say what the rest of my program will bring. I cannot say what 6 months from now will bring, what 3 months from now will bring for me leaving my program, leaving the area where my school is located. I cannot say. What I can say is I have comprehensive exams on the way. If you're a doc student, you know what that is. And I know that it is better for me mentally, emotionally, everything, academically, to be in a place where the onslaught of bad news and information and overload is something I can keep a little bit of distance from, right? And so for me, it's better for me to do my work in a place where I can feel the sun, I can get fresh air. That's just me. So for me, I cannot tell you whether or not I am staying abroad for the rest of my semester. I can't. But I can tell you one thing, I'm going to transition from a PhD student to a PhD candidate while living abroad. I know that much is going to happen because I'm going to pass my comps. Boom. Um, yeah, other people ask me questions about like, how do you make that happen? Is it expensive? So there's levels to this. I will also say if you are savvy, if you price compare, price match, if you talk to people before you book them for their property, at Airbnb, this one here is going to annoy me, I swear. If you do that, if you talk to the host, there's always a deal to be gotten. There's always is that the best you can do? There's always a question to ask. There's always something more to find out. I live by that. I've always lived by that. Ask the questions you need to ask to get the information you need to get. If there's so many people hosting, and you know, there's an overabundance of hosts, and less people come in because of COVID, they're gonna work with you. Folks are gonna want to work with you. I've been using Airbnb personally. I have been using it because it keeps me safe and it keeps the host safe. It keeps a certain level of accountability for what to expect, and I like that. I know a lot of people that have been in that travel game longer than me. Um, they just kind of hang around and talk to people, and then they find their places of living that way. I'm not there yet. I like working within the app and the infrastructure that Airbnb has. For me, it's been great. As a matter of fact, I'm at my second location already. I will soon be going to my third location. Um, all I gotta do is put my stuff back in my suitcase, call a taxi, taxi come pick me up and bring me to my next place. It's literally that simple. So it's a lot less intense than I thought it would be, for real. The biggest thing that I have to deal with for me is like the wild animals, and they're not even really wild like that, but like geckos and like lizards and crabs scaling up my window. Yes, I said crab. Um, like flying things, and of course mosquitoes. Mosquitoes eat me alive, right? Um, Other than that, though, I've had a really good time, and I will continue to have a good time. I feel my skin has gotten clearer. My energy has been more recalibrated. I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm eating so well. I'm eating so clean. Like I'm eating the way I love to eat. How am I eating? Occasionally, I've gone to restaurants. Occasionally, I will go have some lunch. Occasionally, I will also do like delivery, kind of like Postmates or whatever. And there is this place that delivers just like amazing vegan restaurant. And the hummus, the falafel, worship and praise, y'all. Worship and praise for that falafel. But yeah, that's how I'm doing it. Of course, I've gone to the market. I've gone to Gypsy Market. I've gone to Sharudri, if that's how you say it. That's also a local market. I've gone to Superaki. That's another market. I pick up my stuff and I have my little bag, a little canvas tote, and I just pack my stuff and I go. So it's really not been that difficult. I've been to different levels of high end, middle end, lower end markets. I get what I need. Um, so for me, it's just about buying my fruits and vegetables. Of course, you get the water with the location, the big jug of water that would normally go in a water filter thing. Get that. You get that big jug of water, make it do what it do. And of course, I like my sparkling water, so I buy my sparkling water when I go to the market. But I also have a regular mineral water, like bottled water, and it's great. Um, are there any other questions? Leave them down below if you have questions. My big thing is I might make a philosophy video, like a why, a mental state, a philosophy, a being about this kind of a move during this kind of a moment in history. I will say that for me, I want to do my PhD on my own terms. It's important to me to do this degree on my terms. It's important to me to push myself and to live in energy and in surroundings that bring the best out of me and allow me to be fully realized. Um, and doing my degree with the things that I study in particular, thinking about internationalism, globalism, transnationalism, thinking about different pockets of people, for me, knowing what I know about the world, for me, experiencing things differently, and for me, um, I'm really a citizen of the world. It's that simple. I'm a citizen of the world. Um, I was born somewhere else, migrated to one place, going to another place, then I'll probably go somewhere else. Before you know it, I'll be back in America. Like all the things. And like a lot of people talk about the PhD journey and what it can be and what it is. But for me, this is my reward to myself. I also had a big birthday this year. I turned 40 a few months ago under quarantine. And this is time for me to like work on my degree, work on my creative arts, work on my things, while literally having the best scenario. Like I always joked around with folks like that I would like be writing my dissertation on a beach somewhere. I really did not know that I would be writing my comms and studying on beach, in a pool, in a jacuzzi, in a hammock. I had no idea, but I've been talking about it for a while. So yeah, so that's all I can share. I've been making the most of it. I've been good. As far as the cost go, like there's a middle, a high end, whatever to everything. So it's up to you to find where you're comfortable with. Um, Airbnbs, in my experience right now, are greatly um, discounted. And so for me, it is great. You can find anything. You can find Airbnb from like $400 a month to 2,000 a month, 2,500 a month, 3,000 a month, whatever. But then you may find that it's discounted after that, that they may have the host may have a special discount. They may take more percentage or more percentage off, especially if you book for longer at a time. I will also say when you're booking, book for a week or two at a time. So you can see how you like the area. You can see how you like, you know, the place. If you go someplace and then the stuff is not working, the amenities are not what they had advertised, then you want to get out of it. But if you book for a whole month at a time, you may not be able to get out of it. You may lose your money. So book for a short amount of time. So that's all I can say for now. I am done. Of course, you can find me online. Everything will be in the description below. And happy semester to all my educators out there. We got a lot of work to do, got a lot of things ahead of us. And yeah, like that's what's up. Like out here doing the work. I will also say this will be the last thing that I add to this video. As far as having the things I like, I knew I wasn't gonna get my Trader Joe's snacks. I knew I wasn't gonna get certain things from Aldi's that I like. I was also okay with giving that up. And so for me, I stockpiled a lot of stuff, a lot of beauty supplies and soap and toiletries and toothpaste and toothbrush and all kind of stuff. I stockpiled a lot of it over the past year plus. I had it sitting in my apartment. Didn't know I was going to be leaving. But here we are. A lot of the stuff I had and could just reach into my stash and pack it in my suitcase. I didn't have to buy those things, which is really, really lovely. Um, a lot of the Airbnbs as well, pretty much all of them are furnished, of course. They're furnished towels, beach towels, sheet, everything, washing machine, dryer on the premises, in your apartment often. You have everything you need. So anyway, I'm gonna hop off. I've been talking long enough. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe and join the party. Toodles.